Hi, I'm Miss Kelly from the Meadowlark Classroom. I'm here to talk to you today about language during the kindergarten year. The first thing I'm going to show you is the phonogram alphabet. During the enrichment year, your child has been practicing word building with 3 or more phonetic words in the kindergarten year, and as they continue on in their language development, they will be introduced to the phonogram alphabet, which is the combination of 2 sounds together. So you see here I have the long E sound where they lie out pictures, and then they use the phonogram alphabet, and the difference in color will show the sound that they are working on. We also can use the phonogram alphabet as a dictation where we can tell the child the word and they will listen and then build the word. And I used that to show the silent E. And what I would do would say kite, and then they would hear it and apply the magic E. And after they complete their work of writing with the phonogram alphabet, then they will use their pencil and write it down in their notebook or on a separate piece of paper. Here I have sight words. This helps the child become familiar with high frequency words while reading. They practice this through repetition, and it increases their familiarity when reading and writing. So they can read the cards, and another way that we can do sight words is games, and I have here just a sample of bingo, where they would read the card and cover the word if they have it until they have bingo. During the kindergarten year, we practice word studies. We introduce them to concepts such as compound word, rhymes, contractions, synonyms, and antonyms in an age-appropriate way. Here we have an example of compound words where we have 2 separate words and we put them together to make a new word. Tea and pot, when you put them together, make teapot. Clothespin. Clothes and pin together make a new word, clothespin. Toothpaste, flashlight. Okay. We also do a rhyme study. Here we have the children will read a sentence and they have to find the rhyme. I rhyme with sense, I am a fence. And the child would match the pictures. I rhyme with firm, I am a worm. I rhyme with nose, I am a hose, and the child would match the picture. We also introduce them to contractions where the child would have a card, she is, and she puts it together, she's. Through reading and writing, the children are introduced to sentence structure, capitalization, and punctuation. Here we have some reading cards where the children will identify what needs to be capitalized, if it needs a punctuation. So here are the days of the week. The child would identify that the days of the week need to be capitalized. This would be an initial lesson. Then as they move forward, they would be reading sentences and they would have to look. Here you need to capitalize the names in the sentences. Okay. In this series, the children will read the sentence and capitalize the place. Okay. In the sentence, the child would read and recognize that they need to capitalize I. Okay. And we would also point out the punctuation at the end of the sentence. The children continue to learn about sentence structure through our grammar lessons. Our first introduction would be to the farm game, where we would introduce the nouns. A noun is a person, place, or thing. The child would use the farm and set up animals. They would label the animals, they would label the barn, and if there were any other objects like a farmer or eggs, the child would read and identify the nouns that they have laid out. As they continue to build their knowledge on the noun, they're introduced to verbs, action words, and articles. The child would then read a sentence or a phrase and identify the parts of the sentence. In this one, we have an article, which is represented by a blue triangle. The noun, which is represented by a large black triangle, and the verb, which is a red circle. The child would do this with the concrete materials and then move on to identifying the grammar in sentences on paper. The children continue to progress in their language through reading and writing. They are constantly writing about new lessons that they learned, but they will be writing sentences, journals, and stories throughout the kindergarten year. They learned cursive writing during the enrichment year, and they continue to build upon that, learning about capitalization and writing sentences. So they are to write journals. We have a sample here. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. It is sunny. I am learning about the states. You can see that they're learning capitalization, how to write inside the lines, and write about what they are learning. Another sample we have here, they haven't been introduced to capitalization yet, but today is January 21st, 2021. It is sunny and cold. What do you know about Edgar Degas? He drew pictures of dancers. So they are phonetically spelling what they have without the movable alphabet or phonogram alphabet, and with just a paper and pencil. At the end of the year, the kindergartners will have a storybook where they have been practicing writing their own stories, learning about beginning, middle, and ending. And when they have a special event, they will write with the movable alphabet, phonogram alphabet, or just a pencil and paper, and they will write their own story and illustrate it. This is a child last year who wrote about Great Country Farms. At the pumpkin patch, I saw pumpkins. I saw yellow blooms, seeds growing, pumpkins. I went to the jumping pillow. I went to the playground. So the children will get to write about their experiences, about fun things that they have done in and outside of the classroom. Okay, and then at the end of the year, they will have a collection of those stories that they wrote as a memory of their kindergarten year. The children will be reading throughout their day with the reading materials in the classroom, but also books. They demonstrate their comprehension of reading in different ways. Here we have a primary phonics book where the child will read and progress forward through the series, but also in addition to reading, they have to show that they understood what is being read by answering questions about the story. They have a comprehension book. As the children move through comprehension booklets, then they are introduced to SRAs, which they are then reading a small paragraph, and then they are answering questions about what they know from the text read, and then they are working with words. And to give you an example, this says, say the word fun. Listen to the sound un. Then look at the letters in the box. Add each letter to un to make a word. S, un, sun, f, un, fun. Okay? And then with the words that they have created, then they will go turn the page and they will have to apply those words that they created into a sentence. People like to run and fly. In addition to the children reading independently and answering comprehension questions. We read aloud to the children and we ask them questions based on what they are listening to. We have a series of great books where we introduce vocabulary words and we ask the children questions based on what we are reading. We read each story 2 times. On the second time, the child will then complete activity pages in their great books and answer questions to demonstrate their understanding of the story. I have a sample here of a child's work. The question is, what is Mr. Plumbeam thinking when he looks at the orange spot instead of painting his house? And the child answered, he wanted to put an alligator and some elephants. So he was demonstrating his understanding of the story through his writing. In addition to that, we also read chapter books. We read these out loud as a group and we ask the children questions as we are reading. Once the book is complete, the children will then write about what we read, and then the exciting part is that the kindergartners get to watch the movie, and we talk about the differences between the book and the movie. This is one of the kindergartners' most favorite things that they do. Language is all around us, and the children absorb so much through the use of language, reading, and writing. It is so fun to watch all the children through the kindergarten year come together with what they have built on during the Napper and Enrichment year.